I'm pretty sure this comment missed the entire point of this video. The video was comparing the use of fasteners for platform construction and whether it was stronger to use screws or staples. The video was not ever saying that an unglued joint is stronger than a glued joint. In application for building platforms out of 1x6, your screws are going to be a stronger joint than staples. If you compare a stapled joint with no glue and a screwed joint with no glue, which one is going to hold up and not pull apart? The screwed joint. If you add glue to either of those, then they are both going to be stronger than the unglued. But again, your screwed joint with glue will be stronger than your stapled joint with glue. When we're talking about wood joinery, we need to apply it to the context of what it is being used. A glued and stapled joint will be fine for these cabinets behind me. They're being built and they're being put in place once, and they're not being subjected to lateral stresses, racking stresses, nor are they load bearing. I wouldn't use that same sort of glue and staple joint on a table or a piece of furniture like a chair. Those joints are not going to hold up in those structures, in those applications, in those contexts. That's why furniture like chairs often use mortise and tenon type joints, even if it's mortise and tenon with glue. But everyone knows who's had to work with old furniture, those joints dry up. The stresses, the lateral stresses, the load-bearing stresses put stress on those joints, and those joints fail. This is going to happen with your platforms. Your platforms are furniture. They are chairs that are being stood on and sat on, and lateral forces being applied to them. So you don't want to build your platforms with staples. It's just a poor choice, especially if you are reusing your stock. You're setting it up, you're taking it out, you're putting it in, taking it out. You're using it. It's going to have a life of 10 years or more, or 15 years, or whatever the life of your stock scenery is. If you're building a set for a film or TV shoot that's going once into place and being locked into place, used in that location, and then torn down and thrown away, by all means, use glue and staples. But if you're building stock for your theater, you want to use screws and not staples. It's my personal preference to leave the glue out for repairability and for maintenance. In practice, the screwed joints without glue hold up better than the glued joints with staples. The glued joints with staples always fail from the use stresses of the platforms in the application, the lateral stresses, the load-bearing stresses, use and abuse by stagehands. A glued joint is only as good as the amount of compression you can apply to it. When you are stapling joints and gluing them, they are not getting 100% of the compression that they need to be the strongest glue joint possible. That's why when we're building furniture and we're gluing two boards together, we clamp them together. So if you want to get 100% of your glue joint with your staples, you are going to have to glue, staple, and clamp all those joints overnight while the glue dries so that it's under compression, so that it's the strongest joint possible. If you glue and screw, then the screws are going to provide that compression. So in reality, the glued and stapled joints in a platform are not going to hold up to the stresses that are applied during their use. Even if you install the platforms, you cross brace it 100%, and it takes all the wobble out, those joints, those stapled and glued joints, are still going to be consistently and constantly put under stress, and they are going to fail sooner than any joinery using screws. So I don't recommend using stapled joints for building platforms. We can do stapled joints when we're building flats because flats are not under the same type of stressors, not like platforms.